I'm ready. I'm ready.
Here we are. Season 3, episode 29. Merry fucking Christmas.
This is our Christmas.
This is our Christmas episode.
Christmas spectacular.
Yeah. Filled with lots of guests.
Yeah.
Great content.
A lot of prepared.
Plenty of planning.
Yeah. The extent of the planning was me texting you saying, are we recording tonight?
Nope. We went one step further. We got a present for the podcast.
Oh.
New heater for the for the podcast studio.
And it's working.
The other one melted the plug, so
R.I.P.
yeah. R.I.P. in peace. You lived a good life.
But that one seems to be working a little better.
Yeah.
But it's also been on out here for an hour.
Yeah.
Or longer.
We got a little hung up.
Yeah.
Old George was here.
It was good to see, though. I haven't talked to him.
We'd
Looks like I'm getting a dog.
bring in Mama Hutch to look at my dog, because when he swallows, it sounds like he's swallowing a golf ball. So that's real good. If he chews his food too fast or swallows his food too fast and doesn't take a break, he then throws it up, which is great.
Yeah.
So
Is that why you had the little windy dish in there?
no, the windy dish is for Tippy.
Gotcha.
And then Senna's got a slow down dish too, because she used to throw up. That was just because she was eating so fucking fast, because she's a horse. But Diesel's got something going on, and I'm pretty much just at the point where I'm not going to look into it until after Christmas.
That's a 2023 problem.
Yeah, pretty much. We're just going to push this off.
Yeah, you don't want that to ruin your holidays.
No, we've had enough fucking horse shit going on.
Yep. I tied flies Monday night by myself.
No, Ian?
No, Ian. He messaged me and said he didn't think he'd be able to make it. You had stuff going on. But I signed into the Zoom anyways, just in case. So I basically just tied flies with myself
Just
for
hung
a
out
couple
there,
hours.
watched yourself.
Listen to music. Been tying a lot of woolly buggers.
Yeah.
Kind of just to get my thread control and hackle wraps and stuff like that. Get back into the swing of it. Started tying with some schloppen.
A little slopping.
For
slopping
hackles.
these nuts.
And it really works well for the hackles on the woolly buggers that I've been doing. So, doing like these blacked out with some flash and sparkly chenille. So they look pretty cool with an orange hot spot on the front of them.
Orange bead up front.
Those look pretty good. I tied one dry fly last night, and it like emotionally drained me.
It's a lot.
So I tied that one, and I have such a hard time over here.
I have such a hard time going from like big 4/0 striper flies, and it's like, oh, all right, I'm gonna tie a size 14 right now. I'm like,
and it was the first dry fly I tied since last year, and I tried to do a 14, and I should have done a 12 because I was just super frustrated. So I
even
did that
a 10
one.
or an 8.
Yeah. So messing around with that. Hopefully, my goal this year with my fly tying is to like actually use the flies that I tied.
Yeah.
Because like gain the confidence to use those ones versus tying a bunch and then just having them sit in another box that I don't bring with me when I go fly fishing because I'm afraid to
Lose them?
not lose them. Like
Or
I've never had.
Don't work.
I'm afraid that they won't work. Afraid that I don't know. Just like I've never had more fun tying something that's just gonna end up in a fucking tree. You know, it's one way to look at it.
True.
Although I lose less flies than I did lures when I spin fished. I think
I never really did much spin fishing. Like
I did a lot when I was younger.
the most, like I never have. I mean, probably on one hand I could count the amount of times I spin fish for trout.
Yeah.
And that's probably 2. But like bass fishing, like I would do a lot of bass spin fishing, but I never used lures.
Yeah.
Like I'd use maybe like every now and then use a crankbait or like a chatterbait or something like that. But it was a red, dark red and black worm.
Yeah.
That's all I fucking fish. With a swivel and a leader and a hook, and that was it. And I caught more fucking bass on that than any other thing in my fucking box, and I still carried a fucking box fit for fucking war.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the only thing I'm using, so.
Yeah, these buggers I've been tying are kind of modeled after one I bought at Eldridge this year and had really good luck with it, so I started tying those. And I think I've got it dialed. Because I've tied I've probably got a dozen of them now. But I'll give some to you, I'll give some to Ian.
So there was a question posed, speaking of fishing and fishing related activities. Main Fly Guys posted a fucking question the other day. And it was something about should Maine Fish and Wildlife introduce cutthroats to Maine waters? What's your thought before I give you my answer? Really?
And my reasoning behind it is I think we need to focus more on the programs and the conservation of what we already have versus bringing another species of trout into the state.
Okay.
Now, I guess one way I would look at it is if they were bringing in as purely as a put and take situation and they didn't want to introduce it to spawn and stuff like that, why not? But again, why wouldn't they focus on the stocking programs that they already have with brook trout?
Because they're fucking fucked.
Well, why wouldn't they be fucking fucked with...
Well, cutthroat are a little hardier.
Are they?
Yeah.
So I don't know much about cutthroat.
Either cutthroat or cut bows.
Yeah.
Will last. They can handle a little bit more. Not as hardy as like browns, where browns are just like, oh, sick, it's saltwater now. All right,
Yeah.
Well, I'll just keep breathing, I guess. But my thing is like, they dump over 50,000 brook trout into waters where those brook trout will not survive. So why not bring in something else that fucking maybe they evolve?
Yeah.
Brook trout have not.
No.
And they won't. And especially when they're the farm-raised brook trout with fucking smashed tails and fucking deformed everything. And it's like... So I said at this point, they've missed and messed up so many ecosystems, they might as well provide more species to see what works. Sick of sending brookies to die in rivers they'll never survive in. Like, we've been just throwing brook trout at fucking, like, the Great Works River. We put fucking 10,000 fucking brook trout in the Great Works River. How many do you think are actually there right now?
0.
None. Not a fucking one. Sick. So why are we doing it? And, like, if you really want to fix it, then take the dams out. Restore the fucking river. Oh, you don't want to do that? Okay, then don't fucking put these fish in there.
That's why I think we should limit the stocking program even more and take that money that we spend on raising stocked fish and changing the rivers themselves, I guess, to create better habitats for either wild fish or future stocked fish that can hold.
Well, like, set the rivers up. Like, if you're going to have a dam, have a freshwater pass through so there's actually cold water hitting it. Make sure you maintain water levels. Like, especially if it's something that's controlled by a dam, there's no excuse not to be able to maintain that water level.
Yeah.
Now, temperature is a whole different thing, but I think if you're pulling, like, install gates at the bottom of dams, makes a fucking huge difference. Like, 10 feet of water temperature, you're talking almost 10 degrees. If you're sending 10-degree cooler water downriver, it's going to be better for the fish.
Absolutely.
Too cold is never going to be a thing. Like, sorry. But, No, we'll just keep spilling water over the top. That's fucking 92 degrees. Sounds good. Yeah. Fucking trout pate at the fucking next dam. Thank you. But for as much money as they stick into the stocking program, I'd rather see them dump it into like local ponds that are I don't know. I wonder if they even give a fuck about what their catch rate is.
I don't think so.
Like, they have no tracking of it.
No.
You would think something that allegedly costs the state so much money that they're complaining about this year because of diesel prices. We just can't make it places. We don't have people. Okay. Then why aren't we putting it where it fucking matters? Like, and then in areas where the trout definitely, like, as much as I hate to say it, all of southern Maine is pretty much not trout habitat.
Yeah.
Unless you find a spring-fed pond. Like, there's one pond that comes to mind right now.
Yeah,
where
I'm
like,
probably thinking of the exact same one.
Yeah. I know that pond holds fish over years.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
And they stock it.
They used to. I don't know if they do anymore.
Yeah, they still do.
With a helicopter?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
somebody caught a 5-pounder out of there this year.
Right. So why don't you maintain like fisheries like that where it's proven to work, and you say, okay, or why not set up a voluntary catch report? Like, what are you catching? What are you doing with it? Are you keeping it? And if there's spots where the Maine Fish and Wildlife want you to keep fish, advertise that. Because I know, like, I mean, any pond during ice fishing that they stock, they want you to, it's a
put and take.
Put and take. I'm not really about that unless it's like a really good fish.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, that 18-inch fucking brook trout that Liv caught last year, we put back.
Yeah.
Why? I don't need to keep it. It's just someone else out there will catch that fish.
Exactly.
And keep
Give
it.
them a chance.
This winter, like that pond gets fished so hard, I don't believe that fish never bit another hook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like a river, you dump fucking 10,000 fish or 1,500 fish in, you get one rainstorm, now they get washed. Where do they end up? What kind of body of water are they in? Can anyone access it to fish it?
Yeah.
Probably not. So it's like, what's the fucking point? Why are we putting fish in there?
Yeah.
Because you still have to put 1,500 fish in there next year and the year after. And what are you seeing for catch rates versus, like, you know, they track deer tags, right? I mean, and that's a little bit easier, and it would be a little bit more intensive to get guys.
Well, think of what they do with the migratory waterfowl.
I don't ever fill out one of those.
That's probably what they think with a trout log. But
my reason for that is a whole different reason for, like, if the state actually fucking did anything to do with migratory waterfowl,
yeah,
and then wanted me to fucking help them, okay. But when you don't do a fucking thing, you do literally fucking nothing to promote, nor regulate, nor fucking help wildlife, migratory waterfowl in this fucking state, and then you tell me, oh, we want you to count numbers and fucking tell us how you... Fuck you.
And that's more of a national thing anyways.
Most of the... There has been a few that I've gotten from Maine, but most of them are federal.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, federal maybe, but like... So you don't have the same amount of people. My license cost has never gone down. You were able to do all this other shit beforehand, and this is how you counted stuff, and now you're doing it an alternative way. So where are we saving money? Oh, because someone wants to sit at their desk and be a desk jockey and not go out in the field? Fuck you. Go do your job.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for you. I'm not paying you to do your job, which is my main gripe with the fucking bag limits and the surveys that they send out, and then the HIP permit surveys for the next year. It's like, and then those numbers are so fucked where it's like, oh, how many ducks did you kill? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus. I was like, well, 10 plus. Did you ask me how many fucking days I hunted? No.
Yeah.
So what does that number tell you? Did I hunt 5 days and kill fucking 2 birds each day? Or did I hunt 65 days and kill fucking 150 birds?
Yeah.
You don't know because we didn't talk about that. And like species, like, oh, you killed ducks. Okay, well, is someone fucking reporting every fucking merganser they killed? Maybe. Do I give a fuck about mergansers? Not one bit. Like, I'm out on it.
Yeah.
But I think if the Maine Fish and Wildlife came out and said, hey, we want to be able to figure out the best ways to stock these rivers to make it more, to improve our catch rates, and to make sure that, you know, these fish are actually being caught and being used for the purpose in which we buy all of these fish. So help us out. You know, if you catch a fish, if you catch 10 fish, let us know where it is, what
It'd be
time.
cool if they had an app.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of money that gets involved in creating an app. But if they had an app where anybody could just log on,
Just a main fish log.
or like you log in with your Moses ID number off your fishing license.
Yeah.
One, you know, all right, this person is licensed. Two, and they could just, how many fish did you catch today?
Yeah.
7.
Did you fish today? Yes. What body of water? Or like
What region?
what region? I wouldn't even give a fuck if they asked, you know, if you said, hey, it's all going to be confidential and we don't post anything. We just want to use it for our data. Fine. I mean, you post where you stock, right? So you could use that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, I was on this river. Well, that river might be in fucking 4 different counties in York, or 4 different counties in the state, but that's fine.
And then on that same app, in the fall, they could have it where you can just register your own deer. Instead of having to go to a registration station that there's like 2
In southern Maine.
in southern Maine now.
Yeah.
And, but they want the game wardens to be able to access that information? Huh. It's all electronic anyways now.
Oh, they have an app. They could be an admin.
Right?
You know, is there going to be...
Because when I go to the registration station to tag a deer now, they take all my information, they punch it into a computer, and by the time I get my truck, I have an email saying registration confirmation of harvest. Saying, with giving them all the information.
Do they weigh your deer, though?
You see, a scale, that's different. They don't have to.
What?
No, you don't have to weigh it.
I thought that was the whole point of the registration stations, is so they could be like monitoring size and weight and sexes.
It's monitoring harvest, sex, caliber, location, time, all those different things, but weight is
Irrelevant to them?
irrelevant to the state.
That seems like it's probably a big miss. I've never registered a deer.
No, in all reality, it's not the most important thing.
I've only harvested a deer with trucks, so...
I mean, like, I know how much my deer weighed because the butcher weighed it and told me. Because he had a scale. But to actually, like, for the state of Maine, say I shoot a big buck, and I want to see if it's over 200 pounds and I want to be in the 200-pound club, it has to be at a state-registered scale site. Which some registrations are, but like Eldridge, they tag deer.
Eldridge Lumber?
Yeah.
Really?
They used to, but they don't have a scale.
I'm learning so much about something I give little fucks about. But it's kind of...
Allards in North Berwick. They used to have a scale, but the trouble is that with people with the scales is down here, it's not... Tagging deer is more of a burden down here. Like up north, more places do it because it's your local hardware store and it's that type of thing. Where here it's the convenience store and it's a pain in the ass for them to do it. So they don't want to have somebody go out and weigh the deer and.
Yeah, but I seem like
I get it.
I don't know.
It's the same reason our shop isn't the reason our shop isn't a tagging station is because when a deer comes in, it's going to create a commotion. All the guys are going to want to go look at it, and especially if it's getting weighed, and it takes one person doing it and turns it into 4.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't do it, which I agree with. And plus, I don't want to have to go out and fucking tag a million deer and see what I could be doing.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, so if you're not taking weight, why is it not an app? And then you just have like a Maine Fish and Wildlife app.
A lot of states have that.
And you do the same thing with turkey. Because, like, the argument of, oh, well, someone's just going to fucking not tag a deer.
In 2020, in turkey season, you didn't have to tag it. You didn't have to go to a station. They just sent out a survey. So I wonder how many turkeys just got fucking ransacked.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, even still, though, like, you could go shoot a deer today.
Yeah.
Or not today. In season, say. Yeah. And what's there to tell you have to go tag it? Other than the law. But, like, if you live, say you have a 100-acre farm, you go shoot a deer, you drag it into your barn, hang it up, skin it, cut it, freeze it.
Yeah.
Done.
Exactly. And I'm sure there's a lot of that up north and stuff. Like, most of the deer cutters around here, like, they track, because the biologists track how many deer they're cutting up for chronic wasting disease and stuff like that. They track it. They keep record of it by your tag number. So if you brought in a deer without a tag number, it's going to be suspect. But if anybody's doing it illegally, they're going to cut it up themselves anyways.
Right. Like, you're not gaining anything by having a tagging station, so why not just make it an app? Did we just solve the whole fucking Maine Fish and Wildlife program?
I've been doing it in an app for years.
I didn't realize deer hunting was that dumb. Because, I mean, even, like, if I...
Yes, you did. You knew it was that dumb.
Well, I know deer hunting is dumb, but I didn't realize, like, they don't give a fuck about... I thought you always had to weigh a deer, and, like, they had a biologist there that take a sample to make sure you're not spreading fucking diseases.
Some weigh stations, some tagging stations during, like...
Big weekend. I know, like,
days,
open weekend.
There'll be a biologist hanging around, especially up north.
Yeah.
Moose hunting, that type of thing, getting them weighed, and biologists is a lot of the weigh stations up north during moose seasons have biologists at them. Or they'll have a U.S., or they'll have a, like, it's a biologist doing the tagging at a certain location.
Which makes sense. Like, I understand that for moose hunting, and everyone that shoots a moose wants to know how much the fucking cocksucker weighs. And
yeah.
You're also not moose hunting in York County.
Exactly.
So, keep moose hunting the way it is. They've got the tagging stations. There's not a problem up there. Like,
and where that's a lottery system, and I think you should have to do it that way. I'm sure that it's the same way with that. If there's a farmer out there that needs to feed his family, and to say he shoots a moose, we're not going to know about it. The state's not going to know about it because he's going to shoot it, and unless somebody else sees him, nobody else is going to know.
Right. So basically, you only have to... What we're saying here is you only have to tag a deer if you take it to a butcher.
Yeah, but we do not condone poaching.
No.
Either.
No. But, I mean, like, let's condone maybe the use of technology and make it easy for someone.
Every game warden has a fucking laptop in his truck. Every game warden has a state-issued iPhone.
Right.
You know, so all of that stuff is available to them.
And also, why the fuck are we still signing permits and duck stamps and everything? This is the dumbest fucking thing. It's completely fucking retarded. Like, I bought a Rachel Carson permit online. And they say, yep, print it out and you have to sign it or it's not a valid permit. It's like, well, no, it is a valid permit because I paid you fucking money, asshole. And it has my name on it. Yeah. Guess what else has my name on it? My fucking hunting license. Guess what else has my name on it? My fucking license. And it's like, oh, well, what about the duck stamp? Oh, guess what? I had to give you my fucking name, social security number, and fucking address when I bought that fucking thing, too. So guess what? My name is attached to that fucking duck stamp. And all it is extortion. You just want money for something. So why don't we just say, hey, Garrett's going to go duck hunt in Maine. We're going to charge him $200.
And he can duck hunt wherever he wants to.
Right. Sounds good. And if you want to go fucking duck hunt somewhere else, guess what? You only need one federal stamp. So all the other states can go fuck themselves. I would rather them drop the duck stamp down in price.
How much is a duck stamp now?
25. Used to be $5.
Yeah.
Forever. And then they're like, oh, well, we're losing money, so we got to go up 25. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, you went 500%. Like, what the fuck? But, like, what I would rather see is them say, fuck the federal duck stamp, and it all goes state by state. And then states that sell the most duck stamps, like, make it a socialist system where you pay the feds. And if the feds don't like the numbers that they're seeing, well, fucking shrink your shit, because go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
Let the states control themselves. And even that is just so stupid. Like, starting now, well, up and through the 24th, I can hunt in Maine one body of water that I cannot hunt in New Hampshire. Because New Hampshire's closed. Same body of water. Legitimately fucking meet a wall at some parts. That side's illegal, though.
What if the duck lands over there, but you're in Maine?
Well, so I had an that was when I talked to the warden about that, and he's like, "Yeah, the state boundary's fucked up, and it should go channel, and B, we can't really prove anything." And I was like, "Well, I'll be dead honest with you. Like, I'll take you up there in my boat. I don't give a fuck." But like, once you get up past that first corner, unless they come down through someone else's property, they're not ever going to see you if they meet you at the ramp. So.
Well, and then, jumping away from this subject, back to fly tying. I signed up for a fly tying class.
Oh, yeah?
I did the...
Who's teaching it?
Tom Gagnon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's the modern trout fly class. I was going to take the beginner class again with Aaron, but I was talking to Jim about it. He's like, you're better off taking the advanced class, or the more advanced class, because you already know, like, the beginner class is to teach the basics. Like, you know that stuff.
You can put a hook in a vise. You can make your arm go like this.
He's like, you can put the thread on the hook, right?
Yeah.
Tie a knot. I said, yep.
And if you can't tie a knot, you tie a lot.
He says, all you gotta do, the biggest difference is you just bring your own stuff.
Which means come see me and I'll extort you and then you can go learn.
Well, they provide
joking.
all the materials except for the thread. So I'm sure I'll be like, I wonder what thread. I'm sure he'll have the thread there and be like, you just gotta pay Jim afterwards.
Oh, I suppose. When's that?
Jim told me January 26th, but the website says February 26th, so I gotta verify.
He's getting up there.
I got my new net.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. The thing is so sick.
Little boat size net.
It's a mid length.
Yeah.
So it's like, it stands like this tall. So it's perfect for just, like, you don't have to crouch over or anything. You can just, and it's carbon fiber and
Scoop 'em
fiberglass.
right up. Built for speed.
Super light. I meant to bring it so I could show you, but you'll see it.
Got quite the ice fishing gift
Yes.
last night.
That's pretty sweet.
The old tube of beers.
So does that, you drill a hole
Yeah, you drill an 8-inch hole.
and you set that in, and then the beers just
It's got
float.
it's got a flange, and it does have a bottom,
Yeah.
but the whole thing is like loose, so it'll let water in.
Yeah.
Like the pieces fit together loosely on purpose, so it fills with lake water
Yeah.
or pond water. And as long as you got 5 feet of water, it'll bottom out, and then you just start chucking beers down the hole.
And just as you need a beer, it just pops up.
Well, yeah, because they all are naturally floating, but when you stack them on top of each other, they sink.
Yeah.
So the top one will be right there, and you take that one off, and they just rise up.
That's awesome.
Fucking great idea. Moose Jaw, fucking Canada. Those little fucks up there. Because then you don't have to worry about beers freezing on the ice.
Yeah.
Because they're actually warmer in the water.
And that's going to be ice cold when you pull them out.
Right. It'll be perfect temperature.
Yeah.
But it's not like there was a few days we fished and it was like 10 degrees air temperature.
Yeah.
Well, you're actually now using a cooler as a heater.
Yeah.
Or a warming vessel, not necessarily a cooler.
Yeah.
To make sure your beer doesn't freeze. This keeps the beer at like 34 to 37 degrees and whatever the lake temperature is. It's going to be great. We're going to have such a shit show on the ice this year. It's going to be ridiculous.
Especially when that's drilled right in the shack.
No holes in the shack.
Yeah.
That leads to... Well, I mean, it depends. If you're not sleeping on the ice,
Yeah.
drill a hole in the shack. Have you ever been in a shack with holes drilled in it?
Yeah.
When you black it out?
Mm-hmm.
And you can just see clear as day. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Probably the coolest thing.
On Sebago was when I did it, and you could, like, it was like an aquarium.
Yeah.
You could see right, like, 50 feet of water right to the bottom.
It's so clear.
Yeah. And Sebago's gene clear anyways.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Not bad for being drinking water for fucking the whole city of Portland.
Mm. Especially because I peed in that lake several times.
Oh, yeah. I want to know why we don't allow fishing in fucking reservoirs around here.
I don't get it either.
How the town held on to this is just... You imagine the size of the fucking fish for there in these fucking...
And they're spring fed, so it's got to be... Like, I wonder if there's trout in them.
I bet you there's fucking state record trout in York, Maine.
Oh, I know there is.
It
Well,
might-
not in York, but in Southborough. Kind of almost in York.
It might be my life's goal
To get
to get that overturned. Because we already can't use lead. So, okay, there's no lead going in the water. So what's your biggest concern? Fishing tackle?
Make it fly fishing only.
Or, I mean, you could still lose fly fishing stuff. You're telling me none of this goes through anything? It just goes straight to fucking...
Don't they have like a $1
people's
billion
mouth?
water treatment
Yeah,
plant?
yeah, they do. So why the fuck can't I fish it?
There ain't a filter up there?
Yeah. You ain't got fucking 2 filters that can fucking filter out a fucking gummy worm?
Or a hook?
Or make it fucking natural only. Make it fucking... You can only use live bait. Why? Oh, because there's already fucking fish in that water. They're taking shits.
Yeah, fish poop in there.
Yeah. So let it be fucking live bait only. Make it ice fishing only. A lot less likely to break off.
But they're going to end up with a bunch of litter in it if they do that.
Why?
Because all the drunk ice fishermen.
No, you police the fuck out of it. And you just tell each other to take care of them.
I think they open it up for fly fishing and spin fishing. And no lead, obviously.
Well, they can't even fucking sell lead anymore.
Yeah.
You can get it. You can find it.
Like lead wire for dying flies, which I don't really get.
That's really heavy. It works really good. But you can make it out of bismuth,
Yeah.
which is allegedly non-toxic, until we find out that's a forever chemical.
I just put a tungsten bead on it and then I don't put wire.
Yeah. I still have lead weights. Old school.
Oh, they're still out there.
There was actually someone that I was very surprised. Nick Stanzik posted about getting a bunch of leads for sword fishing. And like had this guy that made him all custom lead weights for his charter company. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be using lead.
Yeah. Even the hooks nowadays just disintegrate over time.
That's a really good idea, though.
Yeah,
like
so if you got to cut off a fish or
the new circle hooks, like it's been pretty cool to watch them evolve over time. Where it's like,
I was talking to an old timer the other day. Not the other day.
the only thing that sucks is like if you do fish like one rod and you don't break a fish off for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you rinse that thing. That hook is severely compromised.
Yeah.
By like the end of 2 weeks.
Well, it also makes you think you got to check your gear. You know.
Yeah, but like
I get it.
If I'm not breaking it off and I'm recovering it from the fish, like why do I have to replace it?
I really don't have a problem with circle hooks.
No.
And like catching fish on them or doing anything like that. I was talking to an old timer and he's like, "These fucking circle hooks, you can't keep a fish on. It's worse for the fish." I'm like, "You just got to know how to fish."
Yeah, you can't just fucking have a fucking fish take a bite and just fucking haul back and drag. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to let them take it.
You gotta let them take it. You actually have to like fish, not just reel.
That's what I told him. He didn't like it.
Yeah, well, go fuck yourself. How's that?
I said, you got to keep tension on the line. Imagine that. You got to fucking hold the rod up.
Tip up, you fuck stick. What was I just gonna say? Oh, duck boat motor. Cherry.
Good to go.
She is fucking mint. I gotta adjust it just to see here. It's a little low right now, but running much better. Can put it into gear without it dying. That's a fun little addition. Starts way better.
Right?
Gotta go up to the old towing facility tomorrow to figure out what the fuck we're gonna do with my truck.
Oh, that's right.
That thing ain't gonna be back by fucking February.
You gonna have him put a fucking bull bumper on it?
Dude, at this point, I'm just like... He's like, well, we gotta source parts, and we gotta find this, and we gotta find that. Like, radiator's apparently a big problem, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like... I'll start cruising Marketplace, I think.
For a hoopty?
No.
Oh.
For a bumper.
Oh.
See if I can find a bumper.
Just order an off-road bumper.
That's what I mean, but I'd like to find one here.
Yeah.
And also, them things ain't fucking cheap.
It's true.
The cheapest ones are like ranch hands now at this point.
Yeah.
Because they're just so fucking ugly and they take zero engineering.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh yeah, here's a couple
bars
and a plate. Good luck. What's the holiday plans? Going anywhere? Sticking around?
My mother-in-law's. I live at my in-laws, so I don't have to travel far for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down to my mom's house in the evening.
Having dinner down there?
No. We do our annual snowman counting competition.
Yes.
Do that. Open gifts. Have some snacks, probably. We'll have dinner at Manny's parents' house.
Charcutes? What's the snacks? What's the snack
it depends
menu?
on what my mom makes. It could vary. Probably be some Christmas treats, peanut butter balls, nutty noodlies, peanut butter blossoms.
Any peppermint back?
Probably not.
No.
I'm not a big fan of peppermint bark. I get all my wisdom teeth a week from today.
Oh.
Getting my wisdom teeth in +2 removed.
So we're not recording next week?
Probably not. If anything, it'll be remote. And I'll be fucking high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not really looking forward to that.
I mean, we'll start the new year strong.
Yeah.
So has there been any discussion you doing knees next?
No, I probably will. But, well, obviously that's the next on the list, but I'm going to hold off as long as I can. I'm devoted to kind of getting back into better shape after the new year. Because when I did lose that weight, my knees did feel better, so I'm just going to try to do that again.
New year, new me.
Yeah, I'm trying to focus on I've been reading a lot about gut health, like drinking or eating greens and like
probiotics.
Yeah, probiotics, collagen, that type of thing. So I'm going to try to focus on some of that. And then just getting back to the gym.
Still got that PF?
Yep. Do that. Get into shape for fishing season.
Slim right back down into them waders.
Waders still fit. Everything still fits. I just want to feel more comfortable. You know what I mean?
It is amazing too of like how much more like just in whatever it's been 5 months. I've taken the most days off of Peloton in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Just due to everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
Like I took 3 days off straight, but then I got back on today. Dude, I've never felt so good.
Yeah.
Like, I hadn't taken a day off until November 30th was the first day I missed. And since November 30th, I've missed like 6 days. So, like, not a lot.
Yeah.
But, like, enough where, like, today I felt guilty. So I was like, all right, we're going to go. And I ended up 29th out of, like, 4,000 people.
Look at you.
Yeah, we went right back into fucking destroying all these fucking people.
All the soccer moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hate New Year's resolutions, so I'm not calling it that. But it basically is that.
Yeah, I'm never a big New Year's resolutions guy.
Like I was talking to my boss about it the other day.
That's why you should start like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just go tomorrow. Fuck it.
That's a good point.
And you're like, just go. Why not?
And like I'm gonna try to focus more on my mental health too. Because let's face it, the last 2 years have been pretty fucking rough on the old boy. A lot of shit going on. So I'm gonna try to fucking get that back and
yeah, I'm sort of on the yeah. Not sure when it's all going to come to a head, but it's definitely going to come to a head at some point. It ain't going to be good, but
yeah, and that's what I'm worried of. Like it's scary stuff, and you see a lot of like like randomly like just like reels and stuff have been talking about like mental health. It's weird.
Well, so now this might be controversial. And I'm not saying that everyone should abide by this or listen to anything I'm fucking saying, because I'm a fucking idiot. But it's sort of the way I, not justify, but like, I've never been a huge fan of going to a therapist.
Yeah.
At all, ever. They sort of fall in the same business of like chiropractors for me.
Okay.
Because I don't believe chiropractors are in it for your actual betterment.
Some of them.
Now, I think they're... Well, yeah, so let me rephrase that. The majority of chiropractors are not in business to actually make you better. Because if a chiropractor makes you better, you're done.
Yeah.
And, like, this is one thing Leah and I went through, even with physical therapists. Same thing.
Yeah.
Like, she went to this one... It's Now, granted, did they fix her shoulder? Yeah, she doesn't have as much pain as she did. She's feeling better. But they're like, oh yeah, we've got this like 10-week plan, and then we also have like a 1-year maintenance plan. And I'm like, for what? Like, you work out every day. You're active. Why do you need a maintenance plan? And like, that's the way I feel like with like chiropractors. We're like, oh, just come in for like a maintenance adjustment. Like, what are you actually fucking doing? Can you exactly prove to me that this is actually going to be better? And I have that same feeling towards therapists. Now, admittedly, never been to a therapist. Don't ever plan to go to one. I plan to just bottle everything myself.
Which I can tell you from experience is not good.
No.
But I get where you're coming from.
But I have 1 to 3 blow-offs a year.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'll either tell the wife, like, hey, I need a night away, alone. Just let me go be with my thoughts, get them all out. We're good. And I've been able to self-manage that. Or it's like, hey, me and the neighbor have sat here one night and crushed a bottle.
Yep.
Just get it out. Get everything out. Fucking air, bit of a Festivus for the rest of us. But
airing
it's
of grievances.
and it's not necessarily grievances, but it's like there's shit that's going on, and like just chill, hang out. Yeah. No judgment, just talk.
Like, mental health has become like a super, especially since I've quit drinking. Mental health to me has become something I've learned a lot more about, because I have no idea how to cope without the help of a vice. I guess is the best way. Like, alcohol was my vice. That's how I coped. I would bury it with that.
Yeah.
And now, like, I project. Like, it's weird. And I actually had a conversation with your wife about it. And it's like, anxiety has become a huge part of my life. And even to the point where, like, I have these thoughts of, like, I just wish I could go to sleep and not wake up.
Yeah, it's not a great thought.
No, and the reason I'm saying that is because it's not a good thought, and it's something that needs to be addressed. And for me, it's trying to get my medicine. Like, it may be time for me to switch my medicine around, and I'm trying to find a new therapist. That one, like, the one I had wasn't bad, but I just don't think it was working directly for me.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I think some of it too, like, I don't know. I admittedly, I'm someone that, like, I don't necessarily if I know what anxiety is. And this
you
may
want to
sound,
hear a poem I wrote?
No.
About it?
But it's
because it may put it into perspective for you.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a line of it. Like, the best way I could describe anxiety for me is it takes my mind places my body has never been. And it's constant rearranging of your thoughts, like changing. And there's certain triggers, there's certain things that bring it up for me, like change is a big one for me. So it's different for everybody, but like, that's the best way I can describe it, is because it brings you places that you never thought you would be, as far as like in your head. Like with me, like saying like what I just told you, like to going to sleep and not wanting to wake up type of thing. Like, you shouldn't be there.
No.
And it's
well, and like truly too, like, and I don't know if it's, I don't know. I can't really like put it into words like how I would express it, that like,
and for me it could come on,
you understand that, like, you know that that's not a true statement, and like
It's the anxiety, like that type of thing. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
sort of like that, but like also like having like I don't want to be like insensitive and say something that like,
You're not gonna hurt my feelings.
but it's like I sort of understand that where it's like I have no idea where to turn right now.
yeah.
Like I feel like I'm out of options.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's also like in my head, like when I've been put in situations like that where it's like whatever it is, like bills is just like money sucks. I fucking hate talking about money. My only goal in life is to make more money. Like that will solve my problem. Never has, but
Yeah.
we're just going to keep pushing. But it's like, you know, I've always just kind of had this thing with that when it comes to like that where it's like I'll figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I can see it or not, I have faith in myself for being able to dig myself out of that hole.
Yeah.
Now, there's been times where that's been tested, for sure, where it's like, shit is not going correctly for you.
Yeah.
Like, but also it's like, all right, well, I've fucking been through this. I know I can survive it. Like, let's just fucking... And one of the biggest things for me that helped me kind of mentally get through stuff, like get through shitty days, and not saying like anxiety ridden may not work for it, but like it was one of the things that actually Pat McAfee used to say a lot, where it's like every day is 24 hours. Something can only suck for 24 hours because guess what? You get to go to sleep, you get to wake up, and you get to start again.
Yeah.
So that problem still might be there, but you get to have another day to defeat that problem. And like looking at it from like a positive spin of like, hey, like whatever you're going through at work, like looking at your work day and it's like, well, in 3 hours, this doesn't fucking matter because I go home. And then tomorrow, whether the same problem is there or not, it's a new day.
Yeah.
And like being able to expand on it and just like looking at it more of like a positive spin of like, hey, it's only one day. Here we go.
One thing like I've tried to work on with my therapist and what they've told me is you focus on what's happening now because you can't change what's already happened. And
Control the controllables.
And you can't control the future. So focus on now, which is very hard, especially for somebody with fucking crippling anxiety. And part of mine is depression and stuff like that. And I hate saying it like that because I'm not really like on the surface, I'm not really a depressed guy, but
No.
I have.
But everyone has a
Yeah.
closet. And like that's where like, you know, are there days where like I don't feel great? Yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, dude, this past week has been fucking awful. It's something I never want to go through again.
Yeah.
I mean, losing and really truthfully not very close with a person that passed away, but also being able to see the greatness of the community we live in.
Yep.
And the rallying around the family, and like it sucks. There's nothing to fix it. There's nothing to change it, and there's nothing to prevent it from happening to someone else. Like that's the worst part. And like I had a long conversation actually. So I will say this: Maine Maritime. For those that don't know, Maine Maritime lost 4 students. One of them was my father's best friend's son. Fucking tragic. No excuse, no reasoning. It was a car accident on the Castine Road. Every kid that has ever gone to school there knows exactly why it happened. Every kid has no answer on how to stop that.
Yeah.
There's no way to stop it. That road's killed 166 students at that school.
And unfortunately, that number is going to go up.
It'll go up every fucking year. Or every 3 years. And, you know, no mention of driver impairment at all. So, but it's, you're either racing to get the fuck off campus or you're racing to get back so you're not late. You know, it's, you're fucking 18 to 22.
Yeah.
You're a fucking idiot. Like,
Exactly.
but, you know, being able to see the good of the community and what the community can do, and multiple communities coming together. Like, Maine Maritime sent down fucking 30 plus people. absolutely fucking lost it at the service when the school presented the family with the state of Maine American flag from training crews, which Brian was on. And it's like, but being able to take that and say, there's no good reason, like, but being able to look at it as like, look at the amount of love and compassion for this family in this community that we live in and the communities that he was in, and being able to, you know, move, not really even move on, but like to be able to cope with each other.
Yeah.
And like, but like the mental part of it for me is just like, I don't know, like a bit of survivor guilt because I drove that road and times I should have never made it home.
Yep.
Multiple days in a row. Like, but I also think that, like, the worst thing to do is to just keep it between, like, yourself and a therapist, in my opinion. Because you're siloing yourself and like, not that, like, I also don't feel like most therapists that I've ever heard and like heard them talk and discuss are going to bring a bit of realism to it. Where like there's some things in life, and I'm not saying this in any way to like any of your problems or anything, but it's like there's some things in life that it's just fucking suck it up and get on with it. Fucking move on.
I agree.
And I don't believe that like therapy is pushing that out there. Where it's like, oh well, we can work through that. Like, let's talk. Like, fuck you. You need to be telling me, hey, it sucks. Like, the shit that happened this week really fucking sucks. But we have to push on. Like, as much as like you have to have like not short-term memory loss, but sort of, where it's like, sucks. Remember that person forever. Remember the great things from it.
Yeah.
Forget about the bad and just go. And like, tomorrow's a new day and we go.
Yeah.
And I think that like, I don't know, the interactions that I've had with people involved in mental health and therapy are more focused on dwelling in that past of like, oh, what does trigger you? What does make this? And it's not like okay, let's push through it. Like, let's go. Like, what? We can sit here and talk about this, and we can sit and talk about why it bothers you. But if talking about why it bothers you is not helping you get past it, really.
What I try to work through is those things that trigger me, is because those triggers can come anytime with anything, you know, depending on what the trigger is. And I'm not talking for myself personally, but like, and I still deal with it. Like, I'm not cured whatsoever. Like, I'm still in the very beginning stages of trying to like deal with myself, but it's trying to deal with those things. It's completely different for everybody. Like, there's no one way to deal with it. There's no set way that's gonna like if you think of it, like if you get sick, you get the flu, okay? It's gonna pass, right? You're gonna take Tylenol for the fever. You're gonna take some decongestion.
If you can find any, there's a shortage.
You're gonna take ibuprofen, whatever. You're gonna take those things, and it's gonna pass, right? With anxiety,
there's not a Tylenol for it.
There's not a Tylenol, and the next time you have an issue with it, it could be different.
Right.
So it's trying to find a way for you personally, and you may have to change and adapt. Like, that's what I'm dealing with my medicine now. Is maybe the medicine I'm on right now that was working isn't necessarily doing what it should anymore, and that's why I'm having these thoughts of, and I'm not going to call it suicide, but why I'm having these thoughts. Like, the other night, I broke down completely. Like, I couldn't, Like, I was a mess. And it's for no, like, nobody said, Hugh, you're a piece of shit. But.
Well, except that guy at the shop.
Yeah. Fuck him.
Sorry.
But I still feel that way. And I really don't know why.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible feeling to have. And unless you know what I'm talking about, it's really... And I think everybody has anxiety to a certain form. I think you do. I think everybody does. In a certain way, some people is like you don't need help because you know how to deal with it already. You have the ability to deal with it. And I could talk for hours about this after, like, the reasons that I think I have anxiety off air, but it's different for everybody. And I guess the old saying is, you never know what anybody else has gone through or is going through. So just don't be a prick.
Well, exactly. And that's why, like,
and I struggle with that too, because sometimes I realize, like, that person may have that guy that called me an asshole and said I was a dickhead, or maybe he was having a bad day. Maybe something just happened to him. But in that moment, I said, get the fuck out. In that moment, fuck you. Okay?
Yeah.
I get it. But, and if he had come back and said, you know what, I'm sorry.
I was going through whatever.
I'm going through some shit.
Yeah.
And I'm frustrated. I'm sorry I acted that way. I would have been like, all right, I'm sorry for kicking you out. Let's get this figured out.
Yeah, but the problem is no one does that.
No one does that.
No one can admit the fault. But I think, like, the one thing that I, like, lean on is, like, I know that, and I think it takes a bit of self-reflection of, like, am I perfect? No.
No.
Is there shit I need to work on? Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, the amount of whatever. And, like, but also, like, am I doing more things good than I am wrong?
The other thing that is tough for a lot of people, especially guys like you and I, is we don't like to ask for help.
I never ask for help.
So.
Ever.
So. I will. If I could be having the worst day of my life, and you and I are best friends, I could be having the worst day of my life, and 9 times out of 10, if you ask me how I'm doing, I'm gonna say I'm all right.
Yeah. And
you would do the same to me. But in all reality,
well, no, I'll tell you if it's a shit day. But but
you know what I mean. Like, I'm not gonna pour my heart out all the time. Although you and I are really close, so it may not necessarily work for us. But
no, but like a casual person, like at work, like they walk in, they're like, "Hey, Hugh, how is it?" And you're like, fucking living the dream.
Yeah.
Like, when I realize I'm saying living the dream more than, like, 4 times to anyone at work in a day, I'm like, all right,
nightmare.
I gotta fucking talk to somebody. Like,
yeah.
But that's the thing too, is like, I have a very, and I think you do too. Now, maybe you don't use as much as you should because you're a prick, but like a network of people to be like I have people that I will talk to about different things.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally staring down the barrel of my dog being dead. Not good.
Yeah.
Like, and my wife's like, well, let's call the vet. And I was like, no, I'm not calling a vet before Christmas. I'm not doing it. I will make any fucking sacrifice I have to make sure that dog can eat until after Christmas. Then I'll call a vet. I'm not fucking... And it's like, myself, mentally, can I handle it? Yeah, absolutely. But, like, do I need to put myself through that mental gymnastics and then also my kids? Like, no.
Right before Christmas.
No, don't need to.
Yeah. Do you want them to, yeah.
Like, absolutely not. The goal is to make him live till we get a puppy, and then it's like, hey, puppy, old dog's dead, sorry. Like, and that's more fucking 100% for me. Like,
yeah.
But
let's just transition.
Yeah. And it's like, But also at the same time, like, I have people to talk to about that. I've got people, like, I'll talk to Leah about some stuff, and then there's things I will never talk to her about. Whether she wants to hear that or not, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But, like, there's things that I do not talk to my wife about when it comes to, like, almost getting killed at work. Shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's some stuff you don't... Yeah. But it's like, I think it's one thing to you that I want you to, and I know you know this, but I know you also don't do it, that you can always reach out.
Yeah.
And like, and that's a big thing. Like, I know I have, like, it was kind of one of the things, like, from the funeral where, like, they're like, yeah, he ran in a big pack. I was like, I don't run in big packs. I'm not that person. I'm very much a loner.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a loner, but I run with a tight pack.
You got a small circle, but you know a lot of people.
Exactly. And, like, I know there's people I can reach out to if I need to. But then there's, like, it's like Joey Diaz says.
You got 3 motherfuckers.
I need 3 motherfuckers. I got 3 motherfuckers. I can fucking tell you that. And, like, there's 3 dudes I know I can call with no whatever it is. And it's like, yo, either we ride or we drink.
Yeah.
Like, those are the 2 options. And it's like, you know, do we need to just have, like, a boys' night? And, like, getting that, and, like, also, like, having that understanding, like, with my wife, where it's like, I need to go fish.
Yep.
Don't know where I'm going. Whether it's ice fishing, whether it's fucking striper fishing, or whether it's trout fishing. Just gonna go fish. Same thing with duck hunting. Like, there gets to a point, and I recognize it in myself, and I'm pretty good about it, where I'm like, yo, I'm hunting alone today. And it has nothing to do with, and it's just like,
it's nothing against anybody else.
Nothing against anybody else. I just want to go out, sit with my own thoughts.
That's therapy for you.
Right. It 1,000% is, and driving is to me.
Yep.
Like, there's times I'll realize I've driven back and forth to work for like 4 days.
And you're like, how the fuck did I get here?
No, without a fucking sound on.
Yep.
No radio, no nothing, just driving, working through stuff. And it's like, all right, I'm good.
I've done that.
But, like, that's, I don't, it's sort of how I view religion, where it's like, I don't feel like I need someone else to help me with it. And it's sort of how I view my own mental health, for better or worse. But God knows I won't be Catholic. Jesus Christ.
The fact that you used the Lord's name in vain 3 times in that sentence is the greatest. God knows I won't become Catholic. Jesus Christ.
So, hilarious part of, and this is where I, like, if I'm in situations where I'm not, like, super great mentally, or, like, just awkward positions. The other day, so we're at the funeral. There is 3 girls behind us. And one girl clearly knew about Catholicism and everything. The other 2 were dumber than the plywood that fucking lines this room. Like, well, so who are those people up there? Is that Jesus? And is that God? Or what about over there? Like, who's on the cross? And then, well, what about those people over there? And, like, what about this guy? What's that little guy up there? And I'm like, okay. So a few things here, ladies. Not the time nor place to be discussing who's up on the walls of the old fucking Catholic Church. Second off, are you fucking retarded? I got up at the end, never turned around, never looked. Just was listening to this whole thing, just like, what in the actual fuck is going on? Whole thing goes through, hour and fucking whatever, Catholic service, obviously.
Yeah.
Turn around. Legitimately my aged people. And I'm like, are you... I was expecting like 19 to 25, maybe. But like all over 30. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Like, how fucking dumb are you? There's some, like, I'm not a big old fucking church guy.
Yeah.
But I also have enough awareness not to be having that conversation in the beginning processes of a fucking funeral. Like,
what are these things on the floor? That's a footrest.
yeah. The instructions from that motherfucker throughout the whole thing was the only thing that probably made me not a complete fucking mess the entire time, because I had enough time to just be like, hey, Father Mower. His last name's Mower. Also gave me a bit of something to laugh at. And that's what, like, that's legitimately probably my mental state of, like, I try and find something funny to laugh at so I don't think about the negative.
Yeah.
I've become a much more positive person, I've realized. Except yesterday morning.
What happened yesterday morning?
Almost rear-ended a guy that pulled out of Mike and Barbara's road, the gas station right there. Pulled out dead in front of me. I legitimately slid Evan struck sideways into the breakdown lane. And I was doing fucking 5 or 10 under. Like, I was not hammering. White Chevy.
4-door?
No, it was not Mike. It was single cab. And he didn't go to the shop because I followed him all the way to Elliott Commons. And if I didn't have fucking less than 20 miles till empty, I was probably going to follow him to wherever he decided to stop that vehicle. And just, dude, it was 2 miles of me motherfucking that guy.
Poor son of a bitch.
And he's just, just hand up like, I know I fucked up. Yeah.
Well, at least he...
But he still didn't go fucking the speed limit. He was still doing 30-5. And I'm like, all right, motherfucker. You cut me off. I almost killed you.
Did you have the boat on?
No.
No.
Thankfully. But I had my gun in the back of the truck, and I heard it slam against the fucking bed of the truck. And I'm like... That's a fucking terrible road.
I hate 236.
How many more people are going to die on 236 and Route 4 this year before they do something? That's fucking crazy. How many I was thinking about that earlier this week.
I think it was 10 this year.
Yeah.
Between Route 4, between Sanford and 236 to Elliott.
Seems like a lot more this year than normal.
Yeah, I think so too. I gotta pee.
We are 112 into this thing. So
Folks,
we fixed the fucking mental health of Huey and the fucking fish and
I don't know
wildlife.
if we fixed it. We got a long way on that, but we did fix the fish and wildlife.
I don't even think we scratched the first scratcher for Huey.
Yeah. We may have pulled a couple, just...
Like one pull tab?
We did that. But fish and wildlife is fixed. Christmas is Sunday. Wisdom teeth out next week. So we probably won't talk to anybody, or you probably won't hear from us until after the New Year.
After the New Year. Big New Year's plans? Get all hopped up on some fucking
I'll probably be on
oxycodone.
oxycodone fucking watching the ball drop. Going. Brush your teeth, kids.
I think I might keep the kids up this year. It might be the first year.
Yeah?
They've never made it for it.
But you don't even want to get up, stay up. You hunt the next morning.
Yeah, I do hunt the next morning.
Like, once I started hunting New Year's Day, like with you, I did not give a fuck about going out and partying.
No. Well, and the best part is this weekend is just going to be such fantastic weather.
Yeah. It'll be beautiful. Well, once we get through Friday and Saturday, it'll be all right.
Do you sell fucking water blowers? Because
I had somebody call and ask if the snowblower is going to be done by the storm on Friday. I said, unless you're planning on fashioning a water pump to it, you ain't going to need your snowblower.
You ain't going to need it. And that's all the way up to, like, Anywhere in the state.
I mean, the scariest thing is it's going to be 52 on Friday during the day. Friday night, 16.
Yeah.
So any water that's on any flat surface is going to freeze.
Gonna be a skating rink.
So be careful walking your vehicles Saturday morning.
But they're already saying like
The wind's going to be blowing so hard though it'll probably dry everything as it comes down.
But New Year's, what was it? I saw New Year's weather, and it's like 54.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Well, that's good.
we got nothing. Like, we ain't making any fucking ice.
Yeah.
Although I did see a local friend out on some ice, setting ice traps.
I did see that.
With a kid, and I'm like, I'm all for doing stupid shit by yourself.
Yeah.
Or with other friends that understand how stupid this is.
You have to leave your kid at home.
You don't bring your kid out.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck how much that kid wants to be there with you.
Or at least leave her in the truck.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you sit there and have the phone and dial the numbers 911 when my fat ass goes through the ice. Okay, thank you.
So with that, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Don't be an asshole. Because you never know what someone else is going through.
But if you're an asshole, expect the same in return.
Exactly.
Because you deserved it.
But other than that, we'll see you next year.
Merry fucking Christmas.